We're going to have a little deeper discussion on it now because we have Dustin and Tyvis here. But the defenses regressed this year. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. The numbers indicate it. The eye test indicates it. And I'm curious, and Tyvis, you kind of mentioned it with Aditi about your time at Ohio State.
Yes.
If you don't trust the offense, the defense may feel like it has to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, then they lose interest. So I guess the question, does Deshaun have any fault in the defense's relapse so far through 5 games? Can he be held responsible for that side of things, or is that totally unfair?
Yes and no. Yes, for the simple fact that, if you're going 3 and out, you're not getting any first downs. Now your defense is getting gassed. And on top of that, outside of being self-motivated, there's no incentive for us getting off the field. We get off the field, we get a big turnover, nothing happens. Usually that turns into points, 3 points, touchdown, and what that does is it inspires us to go do it again, especially if you do it once. Why are you doing that?
I like my phone.
Oh. It threw me off. I thought you was trying to tell me something. But anyways, when you see an offense or a quarterback in that offense start to put points up, it's very inspiring. Think about, I hate using myself for example, but you think about the Big Ten championship. Back when we won it all, I know college and the NFL is 2 totally different things, but work with me on this scenario here. When we won it, when we beat Wisconsin 59-0, you go out there, you stop the team, you see the offense go down and score again. So you say, oh, okay, that's that's what we're supposed to do. You get another stop, he goes out there and they score again. It's like, oh man, this what we doing today? Well, let's see. Let's keep getting them the ball back. Let's punch at the ball. Let's get strips. Let's get interceptions because that offense is rolling. So we got to keep the ball in their hands we got to keep giving them the ball while they're hot because they continue to put points up on the board. But vice versa. I told you 2015, they go out there and they keep getting 3 and out and you go get a stop and then 3 plays later they call them the punt team. It's like, dude, what is that? So yeah, you get tired. Your body gets worn down, and it's like I don't even have the strength or the fatigue, the ability to keep up with these wide receivers. So now you see MJ Emerson start getting bombed and stuff like that because heck, he just was out there. He's been out there for like 15 plays in a row. So yeah, I think that part has something to do with it. But at the end of the day, the real thing is if you're a defense, you're supposed to embrace being out on that field every time you're out there. No matter what the circumstances is, you got to embrace getting stops and getting the ball back to your offense.
I mean, listen, Deshaun's not missing tackles or making tackles or doing anything on the defensive side of the ball that makes you say, oh, okay, he's a factor. But the reality is, I think, is that it is a factor because the team they're 1-4. Okay, they're a 1-4 football team. They're not playing well on offense by far. That's the weakest part of the team. They're not playing well on defense as well as they would like, I think.
Yeah.
Because number one, what's the reward? Like you're not a good team right now, and I guarantee you that locker room morale is really, really low right now, and they're kind of waning on which way they're going to teeter. Like, are they going to eventually? Not that they're going to like revolt. But is there going to be a conversation amongst the players internally in the locker room like, dude, we're not going to, if they go 1-5, like 0% chance of making the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if they, I mean, they're almost there now.
But it'd be another NFC team, so we can keep using the excuse of win games in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of excuses.
You got to cut that out.
It's just, it's tough. Every stinking game is tough. We see it every week, and that's why right now, the quarterback position is not playing well enough. You can't win games the way that they're going about their business right now. They're losing to the worst teams.
Gee, you're up.
Listen, man, I disagree.
With what?
I disagree with the fact that, like, if you're a grown man and you playing defense, go tell your wife and your kid that you got your ass cut because you had low morale. Get the hell off my team, bro. Deshaun Watson ain't got nothing to do with you tackling people, having contained, and busting your ass. That's the price of admission. And if you don't want to be in the NFL, go ahead and be emotional and say, oh, that man cost me my chance to put my kids through school. That don't work, bro. It's the elite of the elite. You better go out there and hunt, bro. Like, forget all the other type stuff. Because when I'm watching the Cleveland Browns, Martin Emerson, if you want to get cooked, on bombs by no-name gangsters and blame it out on Deshaun Watson, go ahead. You'll never receive a big bag. Greg Newsome, if you want to be out here strumming it up and throwing the L's up, I need to see you tackle somebody in open space, my G. And what about everybody else that's up there that's having a coat ride off Myles Garrett's career? I'm tired of everybody eating off Myles Garrett's plate. He's getting triple teamed, he's hurt, and nobody else steps up. At the end of the day, man, you got to have and there are coaches. And Tyvis, I know this for a fact. You ain't going to be able to pout too long with Urban Meyer. You can't pout too long because pretty soon he's going to put you in that office. Hey, let me talk to you real quick. I got a young boy that's a 5-star. That's an All-American. He been trying to come get your place. You think that Ohio State going to continue to roll on regardless. So for me, if y'all want to feel sorry for yourself, Amari Cooper, guess what? You won't receive not another bag, not one, because the stuff you putting on tape is garbage. And offensive line, listen, you whiffed. Jedrick Wills, I don't care if he comes back. At some point in time, when do you have to go back to the old mentality of when you was on the line working in a steel factory and Joe didn't come and show up? That didn't mean you got to stay in bed extra 20 minutes. You had to get your lunch pail, your sandwich, that cold, empty sandwich, bologna or whatever it was, and take your ass to work.
Olive loaf.
So Dutch loaf. What are we talking about here? Like that's the difference between good teams and losers. Losers let the other stuff dictate how their energy. That energy is a prerequisite. You cannot play in the league if you don't have the energy to get out of bed and do what is tough.
I know the Browns' offense was better last year, but it's not like the Browns' offense was great last year. And the defense
Walker
played great.
They had to.
Hey.
They had to.
I get what you guys are saying.
We
I
don't do no
understand you've
feel.
been there, and I get what you're saying. Obviously, the defense, yeah, it's a bummer when the offense sucks and doesn't help you. But ultimately, it's not an excuse. I don't think either of you were saying it was an excuse.
I said yes and no.
Yeah.
I said I led with all of the things.
Yeah, right.
How it can affect you.
Yeah.
And then I said at the end of the day, you signed up to play defense.
That's right.
Your job is to do what you're supposed to do.
It's hard to like look at Deshaun as a player in that locker room and be like, man, this guy's our leader, man. We're really following this guy.
Yeah.
Because when you're not performing, it's really difficult to become a leader and continue to be that leader, especially when you're coming from the situation you were coming from and all the high expectations. For him to not fulfill those expectations, I think it certainly hurts Deshaun personally in terms of his confidence to be a leader in that locker room. And then from everyone else, they're seeing that lack of confidence and they feel it.
And I think, you being a little disingenuous as well. You played D-line.
Yeah.
If you went out there and got a big stop and then 3 plays later you was back out on that field, you'd be a little fatigued.
Oh, I have a bone to pick with you too.
I'll be tired.
Okay.
You'd be tired. Fatigue.
That's all I said.
Being fatigued.
Wait a minute.
That's a valid
That's
point.
all I said.
If you
Your offense, no, they suck.
That's all I was saying.
Listen, when you get to be fatigued, listen.
So don't act like fatigue don't play a factor because it does.
What I'm saying is, yes, all of those things you guys are saying is valid. Those things creep into your mind. You are only human. They creep there. But like you said, what did you say? You need a leader. You need one person that's going to say, oh, we're not doing that.
Yes.
And so, like, if it's
Who is that on defense?
Is it Myles Garrett? All the guys that got the C's on.
Well, here's the problem. That Myles Garrett, JOK, and Denzel Ward are really their only good players right now on defense. And none of those guys seem like vocal leaders.
I mean, somebody, and then we get to the bone you got to pick with me.
Okay,
we don't duck no smoke. But what I'm saying, though, is, yes, it's human nature. But for sometimes, like, that's what we talk about. Nick Saban talks about it all the time. It's like, like, you guys want to be known as this. You guys want everything that come with it.
Dude, the Browns have been and they are front runners and will continue to be until we figure this thing out. Until they what? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no. How do you figure it out if you don't go through adversity?
That's true too.
You think they're going to figure out this?
But
team's going to figure it out?
They figured it out last year through adversity.
Hey, listen,
and they was winning games. My biggest issue with the defense is this: is not the same attitude that it was last year. That to me, point blank, is the difference. Last year, you can't tell me they ducked no smoke. They looked for anybody saying anything. They punched people in the mouth first. And it was so shocking that teams was like, oh, snap, I didn't know they was like this. Because it was so foreign. When you played the Browns, you would push them around for many years. Now the first year, Jim Schwartz's first year, they actually hitting people in the mouth, knocking dudes out the game. That's what made the whole year different for me. And I don't see that now. And that's my problem with the defense.
You can do it 1 year. You can do it 2 years. Every single year, you gotta come back with a renewed mind.
I agree.
I just ain't see it. Now, what you got to pick with
Yeah,
me?
what's the
It's not
bone?
really that big of a bone. I just wanted to chime in on what you were saying, but
Okay,
I
go
did
ahead.
not want to interrupt you. It was eloquent. You know, you talk about these guys, you're like, oh, you know, they're professionals and they understand, you know, morale. Like you said all those things like about how it's basically BS. Like you can't have those excuses. And I would just say this, and Tyvis, I'm sure that you've seen this as well. Like there are selfish guys in that locker room. There are selfish guys in every locker room. And especially when you're on a team that doesn't have the culture already in place, like when Belichick was in New England or whatever, or like Pittsburgh. Yeah, sure.
Baltimore,
Those teams, right? If you don't have that, then all of a sudden there's just inconsistencies. You do have selfish players. There are guys in that locker room that are paid. Like they're good. I'm not saying the younger guys who are rookies on rookie deals or whatever, or playing for contracts. Yeah, of course those guys are busting their ass. But other guys are like, for what?
Let me ask you a question with that too, because I agree with that. Like, there's some. I think me and Tyvis was talking about. There are some people that love the game of football, and then there are some people that love what the game of football can do for them.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And so, once you've already gotten what that's come to you,
That's it.
How do you?
I'm going to just play this out.
You gonna let it roll out?
Yeah.
Now, as a coaching staff, obviously you see that too. You know, every single position coach know, like, yeah, this dude right here. That let me see that. He made a decision, business decision. He wasn't
Yeah,
even going
you just
hard.
seen Antonio Pierce say that.
How do you, as a coach, turn that mentality around?
Can you?
And
Well,
is it
If a
possible
guy's just there for business,
in the
really?
middle of
Yes.
the season?
Lit-
How you turn
you
that?
literally,
how
you just watched it last year. That's what I said made the team special also. Kevin made them all selfless. They didn't care about personal accolades. They were just trying to win games. Why is it all of a sudden now people are thinking about business decisions and all of these other things? Like that's the part that's tricky to me. Like what happened?
Like
Y'all supposed to be even more. You seen the success that season brought you with what y'all did. Selfless, being tough, being physical. You see how
Accountability.
successful you were. And you telling me you decide to deviate from that plan a year later? It makes absolutely no sense.
Could it be that last year they had certain restraints on them? Like think about it. Last
No, they
year,
had no expectations. That's what it was.
Well, were they holding guys accountable?
Yes.
Like this year, it seemed like everybody got all their awards, went to the banquets, and then there was no off season. Like,
I agree.
Y'all don't got to hang out. Y'all
because
don't gotta
they
come.
thought that they arrived.
And
I told you this year to me, when you watch these players, it seems like they were very more
relax.
hands off. Y'all, you know what? I trust y'all. I trust y'all to do what y'all supposed to do now. I'm not going to be over y'all making sure that y'all get it done. It's like back in high school when you had that coach say, I'm going to give you this card. Go in that weight room and work out.
Oh, yeah, that don't work.
Then you had the coach that was like, I'm going to take you through the workout and make sure you do it. Like, it's a big difference.
This has been a constant in this franchise. Different owners, different GMs, different coaches, different players. But since Bernie Kosar,
Here we go.
The rare times that the Browns have been good, they've never followed it up.
Right?
They have been a
07.
failure. Every time this team has had expectations, they have shit the bed. Every single time. Without exception.
07, they had the year with Braylon Edwards and K2 and Derek Anderson.
I played against that team.
Right?
The Blizzard game.
And,
They were a great team.
for the Bills. And then the next year, what they do?
3 and whatever.
3 and something. Everybody got fired. You go back to 2020, right? You have the great year. Kevin Stefanski, coach of the year, beat the Steelers. You come back to next year, 2021. What are you, 7 and something? 7 and 10, 7 and 9.
Which year?
2021.
Okay.
That was the year they was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with Baker and Odell and all of them, right? Then you come back, right? You come back, you building on that. What is it, 2023? You're like, okay, you got all these quarterbacks, and then this year you come right back again, and it's like, how is that possible?
Is it possible that this ownership group is just trying to use cheat codes and it's not working? I mean, like they've tried every single, like the Deshaun thing is like, yep, we don't have a quarterback. We're just going to go try to get the next best thing. Just throw a bunch of money at it. It's like, it's just like a Band-Aid after Band-Aid as opposed to actually like getting your feet in the dirt and getting dirty and trying to build something.
Well, let's face it. They have not drafted well enough.
That's another thing.
Andrew Berry's been given too much credit. Now, in his defense, they haven't had many high picks. But look at last year. Last year they had a second-round pick. What did they do? They traded out of the second round into the third round for what? Elijah Moore. Yeah. Elijah Moore, a useless player, nothing player.
Is Mike Hall coming back this game?
He is. Mike Hall is eligible to play on Sunday.
And that's another thing. The Browns, and this was a huge problem with the Bengals for many years. And they don't really have this problem anymore. They have their own problems, but the Browns don't, under Andrew Berry, and really this started with John Dorsey. John Dorsey, Andrew Berry, and maybe it's under Jimmy Haslam because he's a criminal himself. They don't care about character at all, it seems like. At all. They have drafted a lot of low-character guys. Now, they got, obviously, some high-character guys. We know Nick Chubb. I mean, the guy's the best guy in the world. I never heard a bad word about him.
They didn't
so there are some guys.
They didn't draft him, though.
No, that's true.
Dorsey.
But even Dorsey, he drafted some shaky character guys too.
Dorsey didn't care. Dorsey would take some kids from the bad side of town, man. No problem.
And that's it. And if you don't care about character at all, that's a problem. Like they draft, what's his name that they drafted last 2 years
You say,
ago?
Adam, you used to say this all the time. You can't have a team full of choir boys. But
right.
But
yes.
you got. I mean, you can't have a bunch of.
You got to have that balance. You can't have too many choir boys.
You can't
have too many bad character guys.
You can't have too much
either.
riffraff, dude.
So and the thing that happens is when you win, all of that gets covered up.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
sure.
When you win,
nobody gives a crap.
They don't. Yeah, you're not winning. I just think, I look at the Browns and they're at a crossroads, and a lot of people don't want to take this for face value, but it is. When you miss on your quarterback, all bets are off.
Right.
When the Browns, whether he's playing well or not,
yeah.
Let's be clear, they missed on Baker Mayfield. They missed.
Yeah.
Because your alternative
it didn't work for them.
Your alternative was Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
Right.
Those two franchises got those two players, and now where they at? So when you miss on a guy like that, but you have a roster that's too good to go back into the draft, and like Zach Wilson or like the 49ers when they missed on Trey Lance, what you try to do is say, let me find the best alternative out there that can still put me in a position my team can win. They went and swung the fences for Deshaun Watson. It looked like that ain't gonna work. Now here's the thing we all want to look and push it forward. Y'all tell me what y'all want to do. Either you can get rid of Deshaun Watson and you could try to play Jamus Winston, or you could go tank and lose these games. But I'm gonna let you know, the tanking option is it has collateral damage.
I'm about to say it come with
no
doubt.
That come with will the coach make the tank? Players that are still good like Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett are not going to even. They're not even going to hang out for no tank. So if y'all thinking right now that y'all can tank, get a quarterback, and these veterans is hanging around, stop it.
It might be a demand of a trade. Like,
immediately. Immediately.
By the way, do you have any faith that Andrew Berry's going to draft the right quarterback?
That's another one.
I don't have any faith in him.
That's another one.
Well, I mean,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
We all like DTR.
I don't
think he's going to be a starter?
You got a mouse in your pocket?
I mean, how Myles Garrett feel about DTR starting these games? You think he's excited about that?
Hey,
Wait a minute.
Listen, if the Browns want to play DTR, I got no problem with that. They want to play him and see what he's got. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you can
but
see what
he's
he has.
probably not the long-term
I don't think
answer.
he's the long. I personally, I don't. You guys maybe see something in him. Yeah, he's a talented guy.
Yeah,
but I'm a Dustin. It's deep.
He weighs like 130
Dude,
pounds.
the odds that he's going to pan out to be the franchise.
Yeah. Less than 1%.
Tom Brady.
Brock Purdy did it.
All right.
But it ain't us you got to worry about. Is what do the veterans care about? Like, are they going to still play hard for you? Because here's the thing. Here's what's coming in a couple more losses. Man, coach, my hamstring ain't even. It is tripping.
Hey, it might be starting right now.
Man,
You know what? You want it at least, as a fan, you want to.
That's
Man, his
messed
hip
up.
flexor is
It's
tight,
sad
man.
because there's might
I
is really
can't
true.
even push off on that Achilles. It's
as
coming.
a fan,
Low back.
you want it. At least with Jamus, even if you get the 30 touchdown, 30 interception, Jamus, at least it's fun to watch. If nothing else.
Jamus Winston will aspire to guys. He will.
Jamus, you're hitting it on the head. Like, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you
I'm,
good.
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like I'm interrupting everyone today.
You
I'm
got
sorry.
that. You got your
You
job.
Part of the
do
deal.
that. That's
I'm
what
not
we
talking,
do here.
I'm not talking 25 hours a week, so I got takes.
Yeah.
I got takes.
Go,
bro.
There.
Yeah.
I forgot what my take was.
Jamus Winston's
Inspiring
Oh,
guys.
he's a leader. I mean, the guy has
He
a
is.
charisma about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we laugh about it, and some guys maybe take it like, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I do think he's genuine.
People love him.
Yes.
Listen
He's
to Jamus
goofy
real
in a
quick.
good way.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hey,
like
this
we're
is-
eating W's. Like we're like,
Yeah.
Justin, this I think important. Listen to any of Jameis's former teammates talk about
love
Jameis.
him.
I'm
Yeah.
serious.
100%.
It is the
was-
utmost glowing endorsement of a guy who
Yeah.
hasn't been that great. Like,
I don't know.
He's been solid.
I see Gerald McCoy and Deshaun Jackson dogging him because of his eating W speech.
But that's the one exception. But they said
Deshaun
they love
Jackson's a
Jameis.
piece
They
of
just
crap.
thought it was
F him.
corny. That
I'm not
that
really
one
taking
moment.
anything he says.
Yeah.
serious.
I'm just
Dudes
giving you
love
an
Jameis.
example. I'm sorry, Steve.
No,
It's like
I'm
saying
out
Antonio
of
Brown
character
didn't like
here.
him.
Yeah.
Guys love Jameis, and I do think given the opportunity, he could. I'm not saying he would,
Yeah.
but he could rally the troops in a way we haven't seen this year.
Why couldn't he be the? I mean, maybe not the franchise, but why couldn't he be the next 4 years?
like
He's only 1 year older than Deshaun, so it's not
It's
like
so weird though because he's barely played outside of a couple games for the Saints for the last few years.
If Stefanski could make Flacco look like Joe Montana in this
Jameis
offense,
Winston.
Jameis Winston should
Let's
look
go.
pretty decent.
They should start Jameis and go back to last year's offense.
100%.
Let's go.
To Bull's
100%.
point, then we'll talk Guardians. He has played
Yeah.
4, 11, 14, 21, 24 games since 2019. He's thrown a total in that span of like 250 passes.
hey,
Wasn't he a starter for the Saints like 3 years?
got
He
ago?
went
hurt.
5
And
and
then
2
then
in
he got hurt.
2021. He
got hurt.
went 5 and 2 through 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in 7 games.
That's fixed.
No,
because,
hey,
because
I-
going from 30 to having 14 and 3,
McNuggets.
I'd take that.
I've been
today.
asking for 4,500. How many yards?
If you want 4,500, that's your guy.
how many yards he throw that one year that he was just stupid? Like he was just
5,000.
5,109. Ready for his stat line?
Ah!
This is his stat line from
Uh-oh.
2019.
Denise!
One of the best stat lines or funniest stat lines
My knees
ever.
is moving.
He went 7 and 9 in 16 games.
Yeah.
Threw 626 passes, led the league. Completed 61% of his passes for 5,109 yards, 33 touchdowns, 30 picks, averaged 319 yards a game.
I'll take it.
He was a fantasy demon, boy.
You know
Oh
what's
my
amazing?
gosh.
He put up all those numbers, and he only completed like 60% of his passes.
Speaking of,
Man,
did you,
he was going
somebody,
deep then.
who was the
Jeez.
guy who dropped Deshaun in our league and picked up James?
Oh, I think Butters.
Butters did.
Butters funny.
The other thing about Winston.